actually, do you ever want to have kids? That's like, okay, wow. I'm hitting you with the hard hitter questions today. Wow. Would you ever want to start a family?
I think I would be open to it, but like I don't see myself having one anytime soon. Having kids, I would be open to it, I guess, if my partner wanted it, like a kid. But I would really want to adopt a kid.
Same. I don't want to get pregnant.
Dude, if I actually got pregnant, I would after I give birth, like if I got like a C-section or some shit, I'd be like, can you take a couple extra pounds of fat out while you're at it? Can you can you make me skinny?
Like, oh, while you're at it, right? I know I'm giving birth, but can you like also give me a double lid surgery and a nose job while you're at it? You know, since you're over there anyway.
And like, can you take out a couple pounds? Because some moms do that. I would be one of those. I'd be like, I mean, I'm already open. You may as well just get a couple pounds of fat out while you're at it. That post-birth BBL.
I say that so often where it's like, I want to adopt because I don't want to get pregnant. But OG Chet, I've always, Chet knows this. I've always wanted to have a kid. Ooh, I do want to have a kid, but I wanted to adopt. Because, like... Realistically, first of all, my DNA doesn't need to continue. Let's be for real. Second of all, there's already so many. I think every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. And there's so many children out there that are well, they deserve better, honestly. And I'm not gonna be fucking adding more shit. That's my take, but maybe that's my opinion because I literally worked. I volunteered in an orphanage for like years, bro. So I have a soft spot for it.
I would want to adopt a kid in like at like 3 or something because that's my favorite age because they like believe things that you say. I'm gonna be like, yeah, kids come from the store, but you came from a Happy Meal, and then I would they'd be like, well, what? How did you meet Mommy Michi? And I'll be like, well, we were camping in Alaska, and then she came up, and then she did a triple axel backflip, and I was so wooed that I started to meow, and then she meowed back, and then we went in a car together, and then we drove and got a Happy Meal, and there you were.
Oh my god. You know something, actually? I feel like, you know, like different sides of you that people don't see. You've never seen me if I'm parenting. Because I am sadly not the fun mom. I am sadly a very hyper-specific... Well, I wouldn't say I'm strict. More that I try to parent through discipline. Which is very weird considering I'm like this. You know, but in my opinion, kids...
With others' kids?
With my niece and nephews.
Oh my god, I'm the fun one, I guess.
No, because like my niece and nephews, right? Like they're basically being raised like my cousins don't want them to be an iPad kid. But you know, in this generation, you know, like everyone's using an iPad and shit like that. So they're going through their lashing out phase. So when they're with me, I have to like try to like change their mind on something else. But if they're stubborn about it, then I'm quite like, I don't defend myself. But when it comes to like kids, I try to be as like strict as possible.
You would be like my mom and I would be like my dad. My dad did soft parenting.
I do gentle parenting. There's a difference between gentle parenting and not parenting, by the way. But like, yeah, I do those like if they want to do something and I'm like, no, it's time for you to like it's time to eat, you know. But they don't want to eat. I'll be like, you know, we can do that after we eat. 3. No, I don't even do that. I ain't counting. I can't count. I'll be like, nah, like we can do that later. It'll be so much more fun, blah, blah. Like, what about this? You can pick what you want. Today, you can either pick this, or this. Which one would you like? And then it gives them the feeling that they're choosing, and then they'll do it. It takes time, though. Some kids are a bit more stubborn than the rest. So I'm very different when it comes to kids. I don't know why. Because, like, I think when you're below the age of 14... that's when you need to be the strictest with your children. Because if you are so used to like being too lenient,
11 to 14.
No, like any age under 14, like you cannot, like you're their, like you're not their friend, you're their parent before 14.
Oh my god, that kid's definitely gonna run away from home, y'all. It's so over.
Nah, bro. What? No, because they're children. I'm not gonna if I have a kid and they're 14, right? And they're like, "Mom, I'm gonna hang out with my friends." I'll be like, "Where? Who? When are you gonna be back? What time? What for? What?" And I am not letting them go themselves. I'm coming. I'll be like, "All right, I'm picking you up. I'm dropping you off. Specific times before you come
my
home."
mom was.
What? Because, bro, they're children in this economy. You want to let them they can do whatever the fuck they want, and then who are they meeting? And they are not staying over at someone's house if I don't know them or their parents. That is just common sense. That is just
like
common sense.
And I had mommy issues.
No, bro.
I'm
saying nah.
They were like my mom was like strict Asian parent, but then like I just realized I'm like, oh, if I'm good, she's not gonna be like that towards me or whatever. But she would never let me sleep at my friend's house ever. And she's like hardcore like sticks. She's like, that's because you never know how people are in the world. And it would be my best friend that I've known since I was like 6 years old. I'd be like, girl, like, what do you fucking mean? But they're like, they could sleep over here, but you can't sleep there.
My mom does that too.
Oh my god, that shit pissed me off so much. I had so much resentment and shit because I'm like, there'd be a whole group of people sleeping over, but I wouldn't be allowed to. So I'd have to go home and go back to their house in the morning. And they had like a whole life-changing, like friendship-changing night where they all became so visibly close and that I was the outsider because I wasn't there. And they were like, wow, you should have been here. You're too bad. And then they all became closer and then I got alienated and I got so fucking bad. I don't think I talked to my mom for like so long after that one. But then there was a point in time where I was left home alone very often, and then I would just go have sleepovers anyway because nobody could tell me no.
Hear me out. If it's like a friend you've had for years, at that point I would be an irresponsible parent if I don't go out of my way to know my kids' friends, right? It's a both way kind of street. If my
but if
kids
you know
have a
them
friend,
and the
then
friend's
that's fine.
parents, right?
That's fine. But if it's like, oh, I'm gonna hang over, like, okay, let's say we have a daughter, right? And she's 14. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do project at this person's place. It would be irresponsible of me if I don't ask who, where, when are you going, when are you coming back? And if that person, if I don't care if it's, oh, but that's not their house. If y'all are sleeping over and there's a dude there, no, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not. That is. I know that some people disagree. What if she's gay? It's not that. Okay. It's not about the love part. It's about the fact that if you have a daughter and she's at that age, she will start, puberty, right? And hear me out. If two girls are together, they can learn something from that, right? If you're just wanting to hold hands, whatever. I don't care about. What I care about is if they fuck around, find out. And the finding out is another 18 years of commitment. And they don't understand that because they're young. So I am absolutely not gonna step over that. I'm teaching my kid what the fuck a good touch and a bad touch is. Dude, one of my nephews already know that because I'm telling them, I'm like, it's not about the fact that we're trying to hide something from you. Where there's nothing to hide. The real truth is when you're feeling all horny and stuff, and you want to try something out. Right? I don't say horny. I'm just like, if you want to try things, you have to understand there are consequences. Some consequences are easy to manage. Some consequences are a permanent life-altering thing that you have to commit to forever. So let's not reach that. I think you should just
educate them at an early age and teach them about safe sex and just being safe. Because if you just cut them off before it even happens, humans are naturally curious creatures. You cut them off from that, they'll grow curious. They'll sneak out of the house because they'll be pissed at you for keeping them from doing something, and then they'll just sneak out and do whatever the fuck, and then come back.
You can educate them, but then this is my type of person, okay? I know some people disagree, and that's fine because, listen, man, different parents do different things. There's no right parenting, there's no wrong parenting. As long as you're parenting, then that's always at least the way... the direction. I know I have
Bro, this really shows two different upbringings and like environments.
I am very not like I think before you, like, if you're 14 or less, I'm gonna be more strict with the kid. If you're 14 to 18, I would be a little bit more lenient because that's the age they know what they like. They're curious, they're interested, they want to discover the world, and they don't believe the fact that I say fire is hot. They need to burn themselves first, and that's fine, right? But
yeah, I get it at under 14, but at a certain extent, I feel like I would want to like put a little more trust and faith into them, especially when there's a certain age where they want to have your support more than ever. Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is my opinion. Again, not 100% correct, just from how I was raised and my mentality. Before you're the age of 14, I am going to be your parent. Like, I can be like a person you are close with, but I am your parent before I'm your friend, right? So I'll make sure that there will be a lot of boundaries and a lot of rules. Above the age of 14 to around the age of 18, you know what? You can fuck around, find out, as long as you don't fuck around too much. But either way, the thing that I want to hammer down the most is like, if you make a mistake, you know that you can always come back home. That is the mindset that I want them to understand. Because I know they will fuck up, you know, but I don't want them to feel like I fuck up. There's nowhere I can turn to, and then it's over for me. So that's the age where I hammer that down.
You should go on a date or two with Numi
18 to 22.
Start arguing about how to
I'll
raise
be more
your
friend.
adopted child.
You know, I'll be
Cart
more
is
friend
so
than
far
parent.
in front of the horse right now. The horse doesn't even know there is a cart.
There's
No, but
so many
hear me out.
situations where it just depends on like the environment and shit, because like the way that she would raise her kid is very common in a lot of Asian households.
That is true.
But
I'm
a
very
lot of my
overbearing.
friends, it there is a lot of resentment that a lot of kids they will understand when they're older. They're like, oh, they were just looking out for me. But I think that the thing is that when kids get to that certain age, they don't understand that, and that's when they would have the ability to like act out because they think that the world revolves around them at that age.
Yep.
I was good though. I was lucky because every single thing worked on me that I saw. Like it would be like, say no to drugs or you'll get cancer. And I'm like, oh my God, I'll get cancer. And then I would never take it. It was like, don't go outside too much or a coconut will fall on your head. And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. And then I just wouldn't go outside and shit. So like my parents didn't have to worry much about that. But when I had questions for them and stuff, they would answer for me. And I think I would want to do the same thing with like my kid, where I would, if they wanted me for advice and stuff, I would do whatever I can to be there for them, but also be a parent when it really matters, but not have them feel like they can't trust me or be around me. And pray and hope to God that the people that they surround themselves with don't turn them into horrible people, because a lot of it also depends on who you surround yourself with, because you could do the best fucking job that you can, but if they met Timmy who loves cocaine, it's so over. It's so fucking over. There's nothing we can do. They're too far gone.
That's why it's very important to be a very slightly overbearing parent at the ages of 1 to 14, because now they realize
you can only do so much. You can only do so much.
You know what my parents
You
did
mean
to
you
me?
can lie to your children? This
No.
changes everything.
This is what my parents did to me, okay? Ever since I was young, my parents don't shield me from the reality of the world. They just don't let me participate, but they would hold me at gunpoint to witness the downfall. They do that every single time, to the point that now I'm like, oh God. Well, it did fuck me up a little bit, but like to a degree, I don't touch really bad shit, you know? Because like, my bad, Timmy. But like, I'm telling you, because in my big family, I mean, y'all know this, my big family, they're very unique, right? It's not like I grew up surrounded with saints here. We have a lot of people that are alcoholics and people that gamble a lot and people that do shady shit. I have a lot of people. But my parents would basically hold me there and witness people's downfall. No matter how bad the downfall is, they will make sure I know. So then now I'm a bit more picky with the people I surround myself with. The kids gotta learn that if they want to fuck around and find out, sure, as long as they are not the person that gets affected. If they want to see what if I do something bad, well, they get to witness what's gonna happen, because that is under the age of 14. I know some people, this will be resentment, right? But in my opinion, it's better that a child grows up and realize like, oh my God, my parents were looking out for me this whole time and gave a shit about me, compared to if a kid grew up and was like, damn, my parents really gave no shit about me. They really just didn't care.
No, I think there's a way to show care and not be too overbearing. I would think that if you're too
Your
harsh
partner
on them,
does that.
if you're like too harsh on them and then they grow resentment, you could be like, "Oh, you'll thank me later," but it doesn't take away from the fact that they were hurt that you didn't trust them to do things on their own because you were so harsh on them. I don't know. Maybe it's just from the things that I've seen from my friends who were raised like that too. They'd like have horrible relationships with their parents that were like that, and then the parents would be like, "I don't get why she don't fuck with me anymore. Honestly, like, I was just looking out for her." But it's something too that is the parents' fault because they don't explicitly communicate that fact, and so it will never be understood until it's too late.
I only recently discovered I was never allergic. It was a lie to protect my sister because she had an airborne allergy.
And that's why one of my friends turned into a counselor for like marriage counselor to help people.
I think a parent does their best, bro. Every parent is just trying to do their best. I'm gonna be real.
Not everyone.
Yeah, true. Well, but the parents that actually give a shit, right? Y'all are doing your best. Listen, whether you like it or not, everyone is gonna grow up having some issue. And that's fine. You know, as long as they know that you're there for them. Because you can be the best, most perfect parent and you'd still fuck up something. It's not about that. It's about making sure that your kid knows. Yep. They know that they have
our methods, it's the right way. That's why we'd be so good together, because our arguments would be for the good of our child, and then it would even out because I would be a little more relaxed, and then she would be strict, but I would be relaxed. Every time my brother got in trouble from my mom, my dad and I would hide behind a wall and peek like through like over the corner to watch him get in trouble and like laugh at him.
Wow.
Because he would always be bad. He was not a good kid, and so I was the good kid because I just didn't do bad shit. And so my dad and I would like creep up behind and watch him get yelled at. Oh my god.
In my opinion, this is why, right? Like, you have someone that can help you raise a kid. Because I'm very relaxed with everything else because I'm talking to adults. You know what I mean? But when I'm talking to a kid, I am very not the same. Like, I'll be gentler, but I'll be so much more firmer. I can't be like, "Oh, I don't know." I'm just gonna say something. This might be a bit controversial. You know when you said like, you know, like, "Oh, why?" Like you don't want them to feel like you don't trust them and stuff. I'm not gonna trust an 11-year-old with the decision an 11-year-old makes if I think it's going to fuck up their life forever, because they're 11. I don't think they know.
Those are very extreme. If it's an extreme ass situation, of course you're gonna have to bring out the parent shit. Like, but if it's not a crazy thing and you just always say no, that's when they start to grow resentment towards you.
I mean,
but obviously, if it's like, "Can I go out with this mysterious man?" I'm gonna be like, "Fuck no."
And that includes staying over if there's a dude. If you're no, I don't trust it. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just a little bit more Asian like that. I don't know. That's like the Asian in me, bro. I'm not trusting anyone.
There's nothing wrong with that. Growing up, like, you can't control the way that you were raised. It becomes very ingrained in how you would be treating younger people or kids.
My mother parented like Michi describes. My therapist calls it abuse. Oh my god, Chad. Oh my god.
I don't think it's abuse, but I think it's like stuff that can be sorted out if there's really good communication early on between the parties. But there is that certain point where it's like you can't make the decisions for them.
I think.
But that's something that you gauge through talking to them and seeing the kind of kid that they're growing up to be. And then you figure out what they need and what you can do for them.
I'm not gonna fucking lock them in their house forever and put them in their room, and the only place they can go is the room in school. You must be out of your mind. They can do everything they want, okay? But there are just some boundaries that you need to be very specific about, and you can explain things. I'm not crazy, chat. I'm not gonna be like, "No, you're not allowed to have your candy." How? You can have candy, but if all you ate today was just candy, me being sure you can just eat candy the whole day, I would dare say that's ignorance. You know, you have to be like, "Listen, I know you like sweet things, but let's have some healthy meals every now and then." Or like, "I know you haven't showered the whole day, and I know you don't like the bath, but let's take a bath." The kid's not gonna like it. but they don't understand what they want. So you have to help them because that's what you
is
do.
90% playing by ear. I think every single situation that you are bringing up are the very natural things that are very easy to make decisions for. But that's why parenting is so hard, because there are situations that come up that you don't expect and you're not going to really know how to deal with.
Yeah.
Speaking
And those are the times where it's hard to make a decision because you don't know if, like, these are the kinds of things where if you make the wrong decision, it could cause a big rift in the relationship between you and your kid. This also comes from being raised by an Asian parent and a white dad. There's two different sides to it that I respected from both
Michi,
sides,
you're
and
the
then
last
ultimately
person to lecture anyone
what
on
did
how
good
to
and what
eat.
scarred us. Yay.
Yeah, I think open communication is definitely very good. It's like, I think you should treat your kids like who they are, right? They're kids. Don't expect them to make adult decisions if they're not an adult. They're still kids. But you shouldn't treat them like they're stupid. Like, kids understand. They're not dumb. So if you explain it to them why you make the decisions you do, like why you think it's not a good idea and why they're not allowed to do something, even if they really want to do something, they will understand. Everyone is born selfish, and everyone is born selfish and self-centered. You're taught to care about people, you know? So
It's so true.
empathy and selflessness, it's taught to you. So during the teaching process, you also need to learn that you can't be too selfless and too caring, but you also can't be too selfish. Now that in between is hard. Communication is very important. Like my parents,
communication is what so many parents lack. They just do it and expect you to understand, and then you don't. And it be like that sometimes, bro. What are you gonna do? Except just, life be like that.
And it's also important for parents, right? Listen to your kids. Just because your kids can't word things properly doesn't mean they don't know what they need. Sometimes they know what they need, they just don't know how to get it. It's your job to listen to that, figure out the safest option, and then give it to them. Instead of letting them fuck around and find out and realizing that what they want wasn't that all along. It's a lot of layers. It's very complicated. Even if there's no way you can be ready to be a parent, okay? It's a playing by ear thing because every kid is different,
One thing I know is I will always make sure to be communicative, because that's one big thing that was lacked in my family. None of them are good at words. None of them were, but I am.
Yeah.
Like, the thing where you learn to care through just experiences. Back in the day, I was like, I don't know, like a kindergartner, and I was inviting kids over for my birthday party. And somebody's mom came up and said, why do you look so happy? And I'm like, well, it's my birthday party. Everybody's going to get me gifts. I'm so excited for that. And this woman snapped at me. This woman was like, that's not good. You shouldn't look forward to having a party just because of getting gifts. And then ever since then, I have never enjoyed getting gifts, because I thought I was just taught it wasn't really something to, like, it shouldn't be something that I expect from people. And so I enjoy the sentimental things because it's stuff that's given to me through actual thought and care and stuff. And I just learned it's like, well, if these things happen, I'll appreciate them, but I don't want to just be like expecting shit from people like that, No, I don't think she was wrong in what she said, because it kept me from being a very selfish person. And I learned that I like to give more than receive, in my honest opinion.
No, I think that person's fucked for that.
I don't think it should have been some random woman telling me that, but I understood what she meant when she said that.
No, I think if anyone ever spoke to my niece or nephews that way, I'd be really upset and I'd actually yell at them, because that's really fucked up for them to say.
Yeah, that's why I said if it wasn't some random ass lady, it would have been like, if my dad said that to me, I would have been like, oh, so des ka, and
Nah, but if my cousin spoke to my niece or nephew like that, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you sick in the head?
That's why I said if it was your fucking parent, girl. I said if it was your parent, that, like, if my dad said that to me, I'd be like, so des ka.
Yeah,
but like, it was just some random ass lady.
Yeah, if the parents of my niece or nephew said that to my niece or nephew, I'd be like, are you good? Are you sick in the head? are you sane? That is
I don't think
weird.
she worded it that harshly though. Yeah, but it sticks. Those things always stick with me every single time.
Now, sometimes kids, the sad part, you can't avoid a lot of things. Okay, sometimes the kids gotta learn themselves. That's a play. It's true. Like the whole expect reasonably is a good moral of the story, but sometimes they gotta learn. They gotta learn themselves, and then when they're a bit sad about it, then you tell them. It's like, hey, let's focus on the things you did get instead of the things you didn't. You know? There's so many ways you can approach it that is so much better than just flat out tell a kid not to expect gifts. That's so fucked. That is so fucked. Aren't you contradicting what you preach then? How is that contradicting? Me or Numi?
Why are we fucking talking about children, bro?
I'm really very passionate about it because I would say I'm strict, but I'm not cruel. People tie strict
I don't think you're
to
cruel.
being like non-communicative, very cruel, very overbearing, very helicopter parent, right? I have helicopter parents, chat. So it's like, listen, I understand why we tie it, but it's not like that. Parenting, like that kind of parenting has never been like that originally. It's always been like, you treat kids like they're human beings with a brain, but you treat kids like kids, and they need guidance throughout life. Aside from that, though, you're not going out of your way to be like making them feel like shit and making them doubt themselves.
If you adopted a child and that
It's
child
different.
asked how you met, would you be like,
Oh.
so there was this guy called Ray Tracer? Would Ray be part
Would
of
Ray
the
be
law?
part of the law? I know that the image of like being a strict parent comes with a bad
As a father
side.
with a 2-year-old
but-
daughter and only growing up with brothers and a military father, my daughter is really good even at 2 at picking up little things like
Exactly.
reading my emotions.
Like kids can feel how you feel. You know, that's also another thing. I'm very big against like fighting with someone in front of your kids, or like even like especially taking out. I don't know. Kids are very sensitive. I have worked in like, I've volunteered in an orphanage for a very long time. They know if you're sad without you saying it. They can feel it. And kids are very smart things. But again, they're still kids, but they're very smart and very aware. They absorb everything like a sponge, right? So when I say I'm gonna be more disciplined, you know, it's not like I'm gonna fucking lock them in their room and yell at them. If anything, I don't believe in yelling, but I will let them absorb the reasoning behind why I made that decision. If they don't accept it, then I'll be like, listen, let's do something else that you enjoy, you know? So it's like, so they understand that there are better things in life than the things they want. I know that the examples are very like black and white. Again, parenting is very playing by ear. You can never be ready for it. But as someone that's works with kids for a very, very long time, I'm not an ass. I'm not gonna be an asshole being like, no, you must be out of your mind. But kids, sometimes they don't know better, but they know what they want. They just don't know what it is specifically they need to do to get what they want. And sometimes they do bad things to get what they want, right? That's how you teach them to be like, oh, if you want to hang out with friends, right? You don't have to, I don't know, do like fucking go out and sneak out of the house to hang out with them and then like stay over and then blah, blah, blah. There's always a safer, better way. Because like all you want is like a proper conversation or an experience, and then you try to figure that out. It's like, it's a whole thing. It's difficult, but please know, I'm not saying like, oh chat, strict parenting is the best. Nah, that's just how I was raised. And that's the kind of person that I was. But I love my parents, I really do. But I am not gonna be like how my parents were when they were raising me. But, you know, please know, I'm not being like discipline is always good. Nah, sometimes being lenient is actually the best play. You just have to understand. Listen to listen. I'm yapping too much, my bad, bro. My bad. I'm very weirdly like specific because when I talk about parenting, people are always like, my parents did that and it's fucked me over. And it's like, listen, man, I don't know how I don't know how you were raised, but I'm not trying to be an asshole. You know, my parents were kind of freaky, but I turned out this way, the good and the bad. I hope so.
Well,
but please know if it fucked you
there's
over.
a lot of beautiful things about you.
I will say this though, and this is about you guys. I don't know how you were raised, right? But if something bad happened, I'm not saying that it's right. You don't deserve whatever bad happened to you. If you went to a therapist and then they're like, oh, that's abuse, that's probably abuse, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you're
It could probably
raised.
be more drastic than a simple strict thing, you know? I think every kid is different, and you have to mold to fit what is best for the kid. You may have to be more lenient and soft with them because they might be extremely sensitive, or they could be really hard to get through, and you have to be more strict. All that matters to me in my head is that worked the best for me was literally just being able to talk to my parents rather than have us all try to read each other's minds. I think if you communicate the best way that you can, at least they can understand why you felt you needed to say this or do this, instead of just being like, because that's just how it is, put it into your head, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm gonna be fucking pissed at you because I'm like, that's not a reason. If you give them actual reasons, you're actually there, you're actually talking to them. Also, I think even if it's difficult, you should be very physically affectionate with your kids because hugs are good.
Yes,
And hugs make me happy.
See,
I like hugs.
I admit
it.
Too.
I like hugs. I admit it.
Yeah,
From the people I love it. And you know what? I could just stand there, and I may look like I'm just standing there, but in my head, I'm probably looking at Michi and being like, wow, I wish I could give her a hug right now.
Group hug, okay? I think if you experience something bad, you experience something bad. You are very valid in how you feel, and you're right to feel that way. I don't want this whole thing to come off as like, I'm very specific about it. I'm so scared that I'm like, oh, so it wasn't abuse. Listen, man, it might just be. Like, if your fucking therapist told you it is, then it probably is, right? Don't fucking listen to me.
I think Michi's strict parenting is not abusive. If anything, it's just, it might come off as harsh to the kid, but I don't think it's abusive. I think parents can be strict with their kids when it matters, you know?
No, but that's the thing. My thing is just words, you know? Like, I know, like, rough ideas, but, like, some people, they take what I say and they take it to the extreme, right? And, like, if a parent took what I just said with, like, discipline and then they extreme it, and that would be abuse. I'm gonna be so real, that would probably be abuse. So, yeah, it's... If your parents did that to you, we're here for you, man. Group hug. I don't want to invalidate nobody, man. Because my parents were like that.
Having friends, good people, like parenting, I believe that parents are responsible for like a good, huge, big ass chunk of how you turn up. But a huge fucking chunk is who you surround yourself with. They can really just cause a person to go off the rails. They can have the kindest parents ever or the most strict ones, but then their friends are the most gentle, sweet people, and then they learn things that you can't learn from your parents. And that's it. Like, you could be a parent and stuff, but there are some things that kids can only learn through other people.
True.
And then they go through shit together. Things will hurt them and they'll get sad, but at least they're not alone.
True.
And then you can give hugs to the people that you love.
True.
I need a hug.
Hug. Group hug. I give you a hug.
Really? Can we?
As like a VTube? Hold on.
Oh. No, I mean like when we see each other next time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I thought we talked about this before.
Also, I didn't verbalize it, but you are allowed to hug and do whatever you want. I will accept it no matter what.
Yay.
Because I may look like I don't want it, but I do. I just try really hard to act nonchalant and mysterious sometimes, but
I just want to be mysterious and chill like that type shit.
I do.
Ooh. Oh. I will admit though, having a kid is so scary. I've always wanted to, but like at the same time, it's scary. So it's always a very interesting topic. I think it's good that you're scared.
It should be. It should be something that you. Well, yeah, because it's something you have to put a lot of thought into. It's just like, you don't want to just make a rash decision and then just get a kid and be like, uh-oh. If you're really worried and scared about it, that means that you're actually going to do whatever you can to make sure the kid grows up to be as nice as you.
Yeah, I don't know. I want my kid to feel, for the minimum thing is I want them to know that I'm always here for them no matter what. No amount of fucked upness will make me hate them. But it's really hard. It's really hard because then they could... it scares me. But I always wanted to be a mom, but it's so scary.
As long as you verbalize it. I think that's the number one time that verbalizing how you feel is important when you're raising a kid. Because, you know, when you're adults, it's like, when I'm talking to Michi, I could sometimes figure out what she's saying based on how she's acting. But a young kid, they're not gonna fucking get it. You have to spell it out sometimes. That's just how it is. But like now that we're adults, it's a lot easier because you have experience on this planet Earth and you learn things from many people.
That's why you have a partner that's in the communication major.
I love how like you flash my communication major certificate more than I do. She's like, guys, she knows what she's talking about because she's a communication major.
Yeah, she knows what she's talking about. Because she communicates.
Oh my god. Guys, can somebody figure out how to clone Michi, please? Please. I need my own here all the time, please. She thinks I'm fucking kidding, but I'm not. I need to meet you here with me in my life all the time, man.
It's the people in your life who want you in theirs. The ones who accept you
somebody
for who
please,
you are.
somebody help me.
Damn.